And it says live video is starting and it's spinning like it did before. Hi, everybody.
Okay. So what you're doing is
You're now live. Wait, I'm good. I'm good. It looks like I'm good. Get in and text me and make sure I'm good, okay? So I was not wasting my whole time, but it looks like I'm in.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
You're doing it wrong.
Okay, well, it says that I'm in and that I'm live right now. Okay? Yeah, because I had two set up and I canceled one, so. Thank you. Bye. Hi, everybody. Good to be back. How's the AO community doing? Just had a little technical issue with this. Sean said, I talked to Sean. He said it's better to do it from the phone now with the technology that Facebook has changed, but I am rather do it on my laptop so I can be somewhat hands-free, read my notes, and read the questions and so forth. So let's get into it. A little overview. Greg D'Amico here. For anybody that's new, I have a software company called Efficience. I've been doing software since 2004. I went to India in 2004. I set up my own office and built out a software company that does mobile app development, e-commerce development, and some SaaS development, along with a lot of data integration. I've done work with Coca-Cola and a variety of companies. I do a lot of work with companies now that want to build mobile apps to create a product or some type of service they want to put out there to try to go big on. So, yes. Now, thanks, Shirley, for letting me know you guys can see me. Sorry for the difficulty and delay, but let's jump into it. Actually, so a little bit before my software, just to give some more context, just the way I answer questions is that I was in investments for a long time. I had a mutual fund company, investment financial planning firm, money management firm that evolved into a mutual fund company, and we grew our assets in the late 90s up to like $1 billion in assets. Had the number one growth and income fund in the country for 3 and 5 years, and had hit a little rocket streak up in the air, but then as a lot of things happen when you move too quickly, it came back down again pretty quickly. So early 2000s where the markets crashed and were bad, and we had 9/11 and Enron scandal, a lot of other things, we had a big drop. So I saw the future being connectivity through software. That's where I got connected with a partner that had software experience, and we set up the company together and been doing software ever since. But passionate about entrepreneurialism. I've been a member of EO Entrepreneurs Organization since '99, and just love business, love learning about business, always a consummate learner, and been to all over the world with EO conferences, best speakers out there with people with the best books, and just in an environment immersed in trying to be better at business. So with that history, I will get into the questions here and see what we can do to help others out there in the world of entrepreneurialism. Okay, Lloyd Brown. Lloyd's question. I have an employee that has been with me for 3 years and came on board when my business was just beginning to expand and was a tough time. He created a loyalty and friendship, but as time has gone on, I feel his lack of motivation to continue to be a mover. He is my supervisor and does play an important role. I feel as if it is time for us to part ways, but at the same time, I need to examine what part I've had in this situation. What should I do? Have one final conversation to see if it can be fixed, or recognize the writing on the wall and put my energy into someone new. Thanks. Business description and background of question. Moving company, price right movers. I'm asking because I'm adding a new truck and software that will require additional training for my supervisors. I don't want to spend time training if the person won't be with the company beyond a few more months. Okay, Lloyd. Yes, people are our biggest asset and our biggest challenge. So dealing with people is always it seems to be the number one question that you get in the world of running a business. How do I handle these things? A lot of my entrepreneurial forum meetings, it's been like huge around people, hiring them, motivating them, keeping them, dealing with the different mindset of millennials and so forth. So it's just there's a lot of things relative to employees. So in my experience, when it has been in my gut that something is wrong, I have delayed it, I've put it off, I've tried to work through it, and in the end, what has happened is ultimately that person, when that person was finally gone, it was very good. Always been, always knew after the fact that this was the right decision, that was stirring up inside of me, making me feel funny and so forth. So you seem to be having something like that. But first, let's consider a couple options here. I would look at a opportunity to sit down and talk with him. Okay, you said he came on board, he had loyalty and friendship, so maybe it's a conversation, maybe around the idea of, hey, partner, supervisor, whoever this person is, that, hey, it doesn't seem like we're playing to your strengths. It doesn't seem like you're motivated here. Maybe we're not playing to your strengths, so you're not juiced by what you're doing. Do you feel that this role is right for you, or do you think we should be looking at another role for you? Or do you think this company is right for you? So getting a feel for what's going on with that person. A lot of times I found with employees that there's a backstory that's happening that is causing some of the issues that they're having at work. Whether it's kids, it's trouble in their relationship, it's a strain somewhere else going on with a parent or something that may be in decline. So just checking with that person and asking those questions, okay? That would be an important aspect. The other thing is, do you create like job description kind of / agreements, contracts with employees that lay out the expectations of what they are doing? What they're supposed to do, and what are the goals that you have worked on to get to together, and what metrics determines if you are getting there. When I had, right now Efficiency is run with me here in the U.S. and like 30 people in India. I used to have like 10 people here in the U.S. and 55-ish or so people in India. And when I had the people here, or whether it was in my investment firm, looking at creating these overview structures, and these are like 1 page, could be 2 pages, of just defining out what the role is this person's going to do, what the job duties consist of, and then what determines success in that role that person is performing. And then when you look at the success, it's just not like a subjective type of feel-good statement. It's as metrics. That in this next year, I will accomplish X. I will get to so much revenue. I will hire so many people. I will allow for a reduction in cost at a certain level. Whatever the things that person is doing that could create an environment of betterment, and how you can define and measure that is key to having employees meet objectives, and then giving you a basis for saying that this is not working out, you're not meeting objectives, and then maybe it's time for us to part ways. So I've had to let go of a lot of people over the years, and it's never easy, but I always found the ability to figure out with that person what their issues were, and then talk to them about this. You need to be free to go do what's going to make you happy. That is kind of key to the aspect of two people. And I've had so many people come back to me over the years and say that you were right, this wasn't the right role, this wasn't me, this wasn't the role I should have been performing, and so on and so forth. So that's just those unused application. Oops, something's going on with my live stream here. Try to get rid of my Skype so it wouldn't. Okay, I think I'm back. So anyway, a motto that I've had over the years that I heard somebody say at probably one of my EO universities that I went to around the world somewhere, was that you either coach them up or you coach them out, or push them out, actually. Coach them up or push them out. Okay? And so pushing them out in the most respectful, the most humanitarian way, in that, hey, this role is not right for you. I see that you have strengths that this role is not allowing you to interact and benefit from. So we need to figure out where you can be going that's going to make your life better and allow you to maximize your strengths and who you are. So consider those options, Lloyd, and good luck with that. Samuel Verlault. I hope I'm saying that or getting close, Samuel. Questions they ask: how do I split a customer's payment between myself and my collaborator? Okay, business description and background of question. Hi, mentors. Hope everyone is doing great. My company provides high-quality landscaping photography to fill the space from empty walls for residential and commercial properties. I recently was offered by the Westin Harbourfront Hotel in Toronto to feature my photography on their walls, and their collaborative deal included that for every sale of my photography, they would receive 50% commission. I was trying to figure out what is the best way to automate and split the payments for both me and the hotel by making it as simple as possible for both of us. I'm also trying to figure out this needs to be set up. I'm also trying to figure out if this needs to be set up for the hotel on the hotel's end or on my end, as it seems logical to me that a customer could either pay via the front desk or the hotel or through a QR code to facilitate the transaction. Thank you for your help looking into this, and looking forward to learning what you all think. So, Samuel, okay, interesting situation, what you have here with photography and what you're doing with the hotel. You're talking about trying to be somewhat, I would say, minimizing the issues relative to paying. I don't see that photography up on a wall is going to be like selling every day, like you have a transaction every day. So in my opinion, what I would look at here is that I would look at whatever info you put out, that the payments come to you. Okay, that gives you control, gives you the opportunity to get that payment and then pay the 15% out to your vendor, which here in this against the sharing happens to be the Westin. With that, you're able to control and maybe even gain the relationship with the client. They pay the hotel, then they give you a percentage. You don't see this as a relation. You don't see this as a potential opportunity, or may not be a potential opportunity for you if they are interacting with the hotel and not you. So whatever way you can direct them to you so that you can have that relationship, they write you the check, or if you have credit card payments, you can take a credit card. And with that would allow for you to interact, get email, build relationship, continue to market to this person for future sales. You don't want the one and done type sale here. All our businesses are about building long-term relationships with customers, clients that will come back and spend more money with us. So whatever you can do to interact with them, have that relationship, and then move on is the way I would handle that. Okay? Hope that helps, Samuel. So you got another question here, so I'll get into maybe a little bit more around that with this question. So Samuel again asked, how do I negotiate with my first big client without jeopardizing my relationship? Business description and background of question. My company provides high-quality landscaping photography to fill empty walls of residential commercial properties, and recently closed a big client of mine, which is the Westin Harbourfront. They are willing to collaborate with me, but I will have to pay for the framing and printing of my photography. Framing and printing can be very expensive, especially since the company is starting up. So I have the gut feeling that I should have my client pay for some of the initial cost. In addition, I also feel that since it is my first big client, I don't want to approach for more and turn them off, as they provide a lot of value to give me physical visibility for my brand within a hotel that has a great reputation internationally. Would love to hear feedback. I'm looking forward to your answers. Thank you. Okay, so Sammy, your question really is all about negotiating with them about how to best do this. So you're thinking that you're stuck in a situation where I have these costs and so forth that I have to come up with, and that can I get the hotel to help front some of those costs? Well, the hotel's giving you visibility and brand, and they're thinking that they're doing that and working with you so that they don't have to have an outlay. So I would feel a little uncomfortable going back to them and trying to negotiate them paying for this, because they would say, well, we'll find somebody else that will do this and put their art and their framing up there without costing us anything. And because we're giving them visibility, we will take a 15% commission. So I would look at this situation. It's your photography, your art that you're putting up here. What would it look like if you went to a another company, a framing company, and said partner with them. Hey, we're going to get the ability to expose my photography, your framing in the Westin, and we can both put our names up on this. And doing so, you would have to put the framing of these, and then you would get paid on your framing when the art sells. So I think that's going to be a better deal than you to pay for the framing and then do it, unless you have a relationship that you can do more wholesale, or you can do something that's going to bring down the cost, maybe borrow a little bit of money to do the framing if you feel like you're going to have quite a bit of sales here and will make up for the cost of that investment in the framing and put it out there. I would really struggle with going back to that, but you could have that conversation and say something like, hey, what do you guys normally do in this situation? I got the photography, but I don't do the framing. Do you have somebody that does framing, or is it something you guys would be willing to put up? You could maybe structure a conversation, something like that, and see where they are. I'm sure that they probably are going to brush it off and say, well, we won't work with you, so we thought you were going to provide all of this, and it would just be easy. You put up your art, we advertise it, or we disclose who you are and how much it is, and then somebody can buy it. So, let's see, anything else? Yeah, so I see that as your best opportunity is to go out and find something that would allow you to work with them and do it. Go approach some different framing companies and find one that's willing to work with you. Says, yeah, they put their framing and covers, glass, whatever on over your photography, that they're going to make sales too, and they'd be willing to make that investment on their end while you make the investment of what you're doing on your end. So JV that, joint venture, partner, try to figure out what options would unfold to help you with that situation. Also, I'm going to add, I'm not sure, like one of the things you said there, I'm not sure about how much selling happens from a hotel, right? So, one, on the transaction side, two, on the investment side for what you are investing. What is it that you would have to put into this, and how much work you have to put into it, and also how much the framing would have to put into it. So I consider that just because you're putting your art up there doesn't mean it's going to sell. You're in a hotel. People are walking through. They may look at it. They get some buyers. But what does this mean for you? What is your history with it? So I would think about a lot of that too, about making the time and effort. Just because you're putting your stuff in a hotel could sit there for a year before somebody buys it. So maybe asking them questions around what has been their experience with people who have put photography or art up here, and how long what's the turnaround time, and so forth, just so you get a feel for that. And if you can't partner with somebody, then what an investment would look like and how long you would be out there with that money. So gathering as much information as possible would be the best outcome. Next question. And next question is from Yola. And Yola, I'm not going to say your last name. Yola is pretty unique. So Yola, question that she asked is, how do you shift from thinking about what steps did you take to go from an independent contractor to a business owner and then to an investor? Business description and background of question. I am an independent life insurance broker with a few agents in my organization who are also 1099. I want to take my agency to the next level, but hiring staff and growing a book of business, I want to become a mentor for other agents, but I feel that I have a long way to go. I have been considering hiring a business coach mentor and figured I would start here. Okay, so Yolo, in your question about the investor part, I don't really see any context to that, so I'm not going to speak to it. You don't elaborate at all about in your background about what the investor part is, like what you would be investing in and so forth. But you're talking about wanting to be an independent contractor to a business owner. Well, it sounds like you are a business owner already. Are you not? You said that you have an agency with brokers and you're hiring them, or you have them on board as 1099. So they're working through you, which helps make you money, which allows you to build your agency. And what is it that you want to do with this business, and where do you want it to take it to? So kind of setting some some parameters about what do I want this agency to be, and give yourself a goal down the road. What are you trying to accomplish? If you're going to bring a mentor or coach in to discuss things with you, then they can help you with this, but it would be best to you get an idea of where you want to go in general, and then maybe a coach mentor can help you define it. But if you don't have a place where you want to go, then finding the right coach mentor you may be a little out of line there. Okay, so figure out what is it you want to do. How big do you want to create this agency? Do you want to have 100 people? Do you want to have multiple places? Do you want to be creating so much revenue? So maybe what's your big BHAG from the Jim Collins Good to Great Work, which is big, hairy, audacious goal. What's your big goal? What's your 10-year goal, 15, 20-year goal that's big, hairy, audacious, that puts you down to a place where you're running half of your city, or you got places all over the East Coast or the West Coast or something like that you're running agencies for, or you're running agents and you have multiple agencies for them. So looking at that and where you want to go is key to trying to figure out what type of coach and so forth. Now, I would need a little bit more context to go any deeper than that, because you're saying that you want to have a few agents and you want to grow an agency. Well, like I said, where is that going to go? That would help me. And if you want to grow a book of business, then there's what are you going to do to grow that book of business? Do the organization you're working for, the brokerage, the life insurance broker you're working with, do they have a program that allows you to participate and learn from them so you can grow this agency out? A lot of them do a lot of training and so forth. And like I said, I was in the financial planning world very early in my career, and I saw how a lot of the insurance companies worked, especially the life insurance companies. So they usually have some type of program that you can participate in, you can grow into, that would allow you to help learn how to train agents, how to evolve them, help run an agency. So I think that would be some of your first starting points, along with reading some books around successful people out there that have run high-end agencies and so on. Okay, so start there and see. I also got another question here that I'll refer back to you, Yola, that could help you. So next question is Robin Turpin. Robin asks, in sales, how many times do you recommend accepting rejection gracefully before redirecting focus? Thank you so much. Business description and background. Art for calm. Setting up locations at a beautiful local park. I got into it with a mindset of building rapport, building trust, networking, enjoying selling by sharing. People are enjoying and not buying. With consistency, I feel this can only help my business. When do I not sell? It feels discouraging, however I persist. Elevator pitch. As an artist, I help people feel moments of calm through my oil paintings of sunsets. Well, okay. Few things in here, Robin, that we can deal with. As far as persistency is concerned, that I hear it over and over in different material I've seen, different speakers and so forth, that you're usually looking at 9 to 15 times and as many as 22 times before you get the attention of somebody. So whether talking to them, calling them, so forth, being engaged with them, like if you're, when you're doing sales over the phone or with emails, it has to be an ongoing before sometimes something finally clicks in somebody, or it's got to be the right timing for them. So you're hitting them over time, and hopefully that timing of when you're sending things out or calling starts to get into an environment of when they're ready to buy. But something that's key here to this situation, because more so than the number of times you should be accepting rejection, is you are at a park. What do people do at a park? What do they go to the park for? Okay, they go to the park for relaxation. They go to the park for playing with their kids. Go to the park to let their dog run free. Go to the park to just be calm and peaceful. Do most people go to a park to buy paintings? No, they don't. So you're in a place where you've set up and you have people around you, and because maybe you see the synergy of your objective of calming people with paintings is what they're trying to accomplish when they go there will align. But there's an issue with that in that you are not in a place where people are ready to buy art. Okay? And that could be where the struggle is. So you're there, okay, so you happen to be there at the park. Some people are there. Well, they're looking because they see that you have something up. They're walking by. It's curiosity. Hey, this is pretty cool. Love the view. I love what you're doing. You got great stuff. But they're just not in the mode of buying because they didn't come there to buy paintings. Sometimes it happens, though. And it may end up being a success the longer you stay there, the more you do. I've one of the things about I've learned over time is that when you're in the same place around people and there's consistency, you build up a familiarity, you build up a higher level of comfort, and then you're willing to make a transaction. So there's that potential that if you stay there. But let me ask you a question. Where do people go to buy art? Okay? And wherever that is, why aren't you there? That is a really key. It makes me wonder, do you have an Etsy account? Etsy, the online area for art people to sell art stuff to people who want to buy art stuff. If you have an Etsy account, that's going to put you up in a global audience that people are coming to that website are either looking to sell it or either looking to buy it. So you are looking for interested, motivated people that are trying to buy things. And if you had an account at Etsy, you could be selling your art to a global audience potentially. And maybe more trouble to shipping art all over the world, but at least you have an audience out there that, especially with American or North American type sales, that could make you a lot of money. So like to see your thoughts on that if you have been in that environment. But a lot of things with sales, and something that I've dug into pretty deeply recently is for some different products I've created, is finding out, where do your people hang out? That's a key question, okay? Are they hanging out at Starbucks? Are they hanging out at the park? Are they hanging out at a football stadium? Where are these people hanging out that you want to sell to? And then you need to hang out there, or you need to be putting up advertisements there. And that's the key for some aspect of selling. So like if you were placing Facebook ads or buying some other type of Google search words, then in those Facebook ads, where would you place those ads? Wouldn't you place those ads at a place that people are going to look for art? And then they would see the advertisement of your great, calm sunset paintings that they could potentially buy. So I would check that out, and I would look at those things and think about those things of where you are and why you're there, and maybe that park environment is: were you allowed to set up there? Did you have to get a license to do it? Did the park say anything about you being there? If you've got the ability and the time to be there, then it may work out. But I don't think that's a place where people are going to buy art. So that could be most of your struggle. Okay, so contemplate that, and any feedback you want to share would be great. See if we could help out a little bit more by going a little deeper. Okay, so my last question here is by Alex Zabaski. Alex asks, what is the best structure for my training course? Business description and background of question. Life insurance sales training course. I write 1 million annual premium each year on my own pen using life transfer leads, and have for a few years in a row. A lot of agents want to duplicate these results. I am going to cover everything to get an agent up and running: carriers, products, leads, script, industry knowledge, closing, and everything an agent needs. I plan to do role plays on my calls, having trainings call and give them feedback. Interactive, 100% live, question mark, what plan, all or part or all recorded, 1 week, 2 weeks, what to teach and in what order. In general, is there a training structure I can follow? Okay, Alex, very interesting question because very applicable to some of the things I'm doing, like one of the products I'm creating right now. And we've looked at a lot of different structures. So I'll share you some of my thoughts, and then hopefully we can take this further if you want to communicate. So one way you can do this is a membership. There is to set up a membership site, and being part of your membership, you can have agents come to your site to get this training, and they may pay $99 a month and $197 a month and so forth to have membership where they can have access to this material and so on. Not sure if that's the way you'd want to do it, but there's a way to structure, and look up, do a Google search around membership sites, and you'll find a guy out there that is very key. And I'll see if I can look him up before I get off here. Can't remember his name, but I've read some of his material on membership sites, and it's very good. So potentially you could set up something like a video coaching series, right, where you're coaching these agents, and they would buy the coaching at maybe $497. I'm just making up numbers here. It could be $997. That one of the things is the 7 on the end is there's something psychological about that. So try to use that number on your end when you're selling. So you can do a lower number, but then if you do your video coaching that's recorded sessions, then you could do a recorded webinars, and that would be at a higher amount. Maybe that's $14.97. And then you could do live training for a group, which could be like for a period of time, 3 months for this group for like $29.97 or $49.97, depending on how much time, effort you're going to dedicate to this, and you're going to be immersed in it. This would determine the price points here. But if you set up a coaching session on how to train agents and allow them to grow and then give them access to leads, I don't know how that works for you. If I would assume that you'd want any leads that you were giving out to fall under your approach so you could benefit from that growth. But you could also use this for in-house training where you were giving those leads and how to get those leads. Or if there's a way that you want to share this with the general community, then that could be great. And, I just answered the question from Yola. And Yola, it sounds like that you and Alex need to be talking, because what you're saying about how I want to grow out this, it sounds like Alex has a program that teaches life insurance a lot of great things and could help each other in potentially in some ways. So getting access to this training that you were talking about, Yola. So what else to say about this? So, I would look at the book Expert Secrets. Okay, Brandon Brunson. Brandon Sell is the ClickFunnels guy. If you heard of ClickFunnels out there, he does webinars on ClickFunnels, but he tells how to sell things online, and it's in depth and it's significant as to the approach that he takes, and an approach that he has trial run over years and learned how to get to major success selling tens of millions of dollars a year in his products. So looking at it, you can do, like, if you wanted to, once you create the course, then how do you sell it? You could create an online webinar that would allow you to share your message. In the online webinar, you don't train people in the webinar. You give them a argument of why your approach is really good and support that with some things, but you don't train them. You don't give them the nuggets, because what they're buying your program for are those nuggets and that education. So Alex, reach out to me. Anybody else here with any of these questions, Greg at efficience.us. That's Greg at EFFICIENCE.us. That's C as in cat, E as in Edward, .us at the end. Okay? So that's the last of my questions. As always, love sharing with you guys and spending this time to share whatever knowledge, experiences that I've accumulated over my business career, and allowing that to help shape you guys and manifest a next step forward for you. It's just as long as it's the next step. That's all that we can ask for, is how do I take another step forward so I can continue my progress and become who I really want to be. So good luck for the month. See you next month. And as usual, onward and upward. Take care, everybody.